the wait is over. A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. My thoughts, my review on it, why I like it so much is here. So basically, people are going to go ahead and say, no, this isn't better than the original. I think it's better than the original, and I'm going to tell you why. The simplest thing is, I think it's more scarier having Freddy Krueger come out into the real world. Of course, we did see it in New Nightmare, which New Nightmare I didn't really care much for that one, but for this film here, 1985's Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge, uh, the Walsh family move into 1420 Elm Street, which the previous occupants, which were the Thompsons at the time, it was up for sale. So Mr. Walsh decides to buy the house, and he did not let his family know what had previously had happened there. I think it was like 5 years ago or so, within the timeline, I think. But Jesse starts having like these nightmares. There's a scene where he wakes up in the middle of the night, turns his lamplight on. It's melting. There's a vinyl record on the dresser or the nightstand right by his bed. It's melting due to the heat. And he starts sweating and stuff. And of course, this thing has a gay tone to it. Not an issue for me whatsoever. I mean, I worked with people from the LGBTQ community before. Of course, Smart Patton is part of that community as well, and I think this movie is great. I love it from start to finish. You know, with the whole nightmare sequences, you don't get too many. You don't really get the dream world in this, really. You do, I think, you do in the one scene where Lisa goes to have the final showdown with Freddy. I believe that is a dream sequence pretty much in itself. But this has got a lot of great scenes. My favorite scene in this entire film would have to be the pool party massacre, is what I call it. It's at Lisa's house. All of her high school friends and stuff are there, and you know, of course, Jesse does attend, and he ends up running to Grady because when he was, you know, making out with Lisa, strange things started to happen. We'll not discuss that here if you haven't seen it, but it's a little grotesque for some people. Yeah, it's the Freddy tongue coming out, and you know, like in between Lisa's, you know, chest area and stuff, and of course Jesse freaks out. So it's really cool effect that they did for that part. I mean, this was 1985, guys. So then, you know, how the whole thing had happened, you know, it's like, you know, he ends up going to Grady's house. Grady's grounded because he threw his grandmother down a flight of stairs, as what Grady had said in one of the previous scenes. And all of a sudden, you know, he allows, you know, Jesse to spend the night up in his room. And all of a sudden, the lights go out. It's good night, and he wakes up. Jesse wakes up, and then all of a sudden, you see one of the coolest transformations of all. Freddy is coming out of Jesse. You know, the face is pressing through, I think, his stomach area, and you know, the hand is coming out. And of course, you get the regular hand with the needle knives, like, you know, instead of the glove. You know, it's really cool. Then you know, another great thing about this is the opening sequence is really cool with the bus, you know, because you know that's a dream sequence as well. I think there's like only two dream sequences, that and the sequence with the final showdown with Lisa versus Freddy. So those are pretty much it, unless you want to count the one where Jesse's sister is jumping up with the jump rope in her room, singing that's very famous jump rope song that they sing in these Nightmare on Elm Street films. As for acting, I think the acting is really good. I love it a lot. It's, you know, it's funny when Jesse screams. I'm not going to demonstrate how he screams, guys, but it is hilarious. And yeah, he does scream like a girl, but I love it, man. It's fun. It's one of the fun moments. Clu Gallagher. Everybody knows Clu Gallagher. He's Mr. Walsh in this. he is funny, and everybody knows him from the very first Return of the Living Dead. And he does say one of his famous lines in Return of the Living Dead, "Buddy boy." I just love that. The whole bird sequence with the caged bird flying around. I don't know if that was a real bird, a real parakeet, a real bird, whatever kind of type of bird that was. I don't know if that was a real bird or not. It could have been, but I thought that whole scene there was really, really cool. I mean, that was probably one of the coolest scenes in the film as well. Uh, the other thing I thought was really cool was Snyder, his before his death, with the whole the basketball thing, the basketballs and balls popping out of the cages left and right like they're being shot out like a freaking cannon. I thought that was really cool. And then when the jump ropes magically wrap around his wrist and they drag him into the locker room and into the shower area. Now, how they did that, I think might have been wire work because they didn't have, CGI back in '85. If they did, they had very, very, very limited CGI. That was just really, really being touched upon back in those days. I believe. I'm not really sure, but just that whole scene, in that scene where Schneider does get killed, that was not Robert Englund playing Freddy. They were gonna go. They had a different guy, but that guy didn't work out for some reason, and they called up Robert Englund to come back, and he did it. So that was the only scene in that film that it was not Robert Englund playing Freddy Krueger. You can easily tell by the body structure and stuff. But everything about this film, guys, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. I like the first one, but I like this one over the first one because I think it's more scary of him coming out in the real world because this was the first one. I mean, New Nightmare was basically Freddy coming out into the real world and going after the real life actors and creators and whatnot. But definitely, the poster art. And I actually got it right here. I actually got the NECA figure for it. I got this in the 27 by 40 inch poster. I love this poster art for it. It is awesome. It is freaking awesome. I mean, just look at that. And of course, we do got Freddy in here. I'll show it to you since we were talking about Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. You got like the demon dogs back here. Look at that. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff, if you ask me. But yeah, I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. I love it over the first one. And I will admit that. I mean, it is my all-time favorite one. Now, when they come out with these on 4K, I'll probably grab this one. Or, let's wind it back a little bit. When this does come out on 4K, if they release them on 4K individually, I will grab this one and then the first one. But, I mean, I actually got this on Voodoo. Bought it for $4.99. The second one here, the one that we're talking about. And I'm thinking about actually watching it maybe tonight later on. We'll see. But like I said, I just love Part 2, man. It's fun. It's, it's a lot more scary. Like I said, guys, it's a lot more scarier when Freddy does come out into the real world because you're wondering, oh, man, what's going to be next, man? We thought the dream world was bad. Now he's out in the real world. But, he can actually have damage done to himself when he comes out into the real world. But other than that, guys, that is my review. That is my take. This is why I like Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge from 1985. It is a huge favorite of mine. And it was like the last one in the main timeline that was the scary one. And then he all got comedy and stuff like that and the others after that. And, he wasn't scary again until New Nightmare. But other than that, this is it. Signing off here. Got one more video I'm going to do today. I'm going to do it right now, right after this video here. So take care and stay tuned for it.